When recounting the stories of the D-Day invasion, one branch of the U.S. military is often overlooked, and that's the Coast Guard. Many of their sailors piloted the Higgins boats that carried the invading troops to the French shoreline. Marvin Perrett was one of them, and he shared with me his recollections of piloting his Higgins during that historic invasion.
A lot of things happened that got me there on that day, and much of it started right here in New Orleans, where I went down to join the Navy, and the next thing you know, I wound up in the Coast Guard, and I would be assigned to an assault troop transport, the USS Bayfield APA-33, which had been designed in the shipyards to transport 28 to 30 of the New Orleans Higgins landing craft, and I operated one of them from this Coast Guard manned vessel. And while in Plymouth, England, we would have Rear Admiral Don Pardee Moon come on board, a Navy admiral, which would cause us to be a flagship at Utah Beach. And we would also have aboard Major General R.O. Barton, the commanding general of the 4th Infantry Division, along with Brigadier General Theodore Roosevelt Jr., his second in command.
They were all on your boat. Tell us about that day, if you will. I'd like to know, at that moment when you found yourself in the middle of everything, what is the one image that sticks in your mind? Is there one?
Oh, very much so. As a matter of fact, on my first trip into the beach that morning, these troops had been in my boat since 2:30 a.m., and they probably didn't hit the beach until about 7 a.m. So as a result, we have all been eating these diesel fumes all this time, and a lot of the soldiers were a little bit worse for the wear before they ever met the enemy. And as I'm going in this particular morning with my first trip into the beach, I have 36 of these soldiers of the 4th Infantry Division, and they staring me down and a bit concerned because they had made 2 invasions, Sicily and Salerno, before this one, and they realized it was my first day out. And they're very concerned as to whether or not I'm going to get them in there safely or not.
Well, how concerned were you that you'd get them in there safely?
Oh, it was big time. I was nervous as all get out. And particularly, I mean, you know, you look out ahead of the boat, you see the machine gun bullets hitting the water and cascading water 8 to 10 feet up in the air. But a little bit about these 36 guys. As I'm going in this morning, I have an Army lieutenant standing right in front of me, and he is an Army chaplain, no less. And the poor guy was seasick, and being the landlubber that he was, he threw his head up into the wind, and as you can imagine, piloting the boat right behind him, I managed to catch it all in my face. It wasn't a very pretty sight. So that's my recollection of D-Day. I had this lieutenant, unfortunately, share his breakfast with me that morning.
Most unfortunately. And you have this,
Yep.
What we know now is such a momentous moment, a turning point in the war. Did you have a sense going in how important that day was?
Not at all. As 17, 18 and a half year old kids, we were just there doing what we had been trained to do for weeks and months on end, long before this, this major invasion. And I think we were more concerned about whether we're going to get through this in one piece or not.
Were you confident of your success?
I personally was, I don't know if you want confidence or not. I rather felt it was going to come off all right. But I rather felt that, I don't know about all these other guys, but I'm going back to America when all this is over. And I was, in fact, one of the lucky ones. Actually, what happened when I brought those 36 troops ashore that morning successfully, when I went back to the ship, it fell my lot to transport a certain Major General R.O. Barton ashore in my New Orleans-made Higgins landing craft bearing my numbers PA-33-21. And he would turn out to be the commanding general of the 4th Infantry Division. So that's my claim to fame.
Well, remarkably, it is not just D-Day that your claim to fame. You were also at Iwo Jima, weren't you?
That is true. As a matter of fact, after Normandy, 2 months later, we went down to southern France, did the invasion in southern France as well. And then in time, we would go back to Norfolk, Virginia, and set sail for the Pacific, where, with my good luck, I wound up being at Iwo Jima on D-Day February the 19th, and later Okinawa as well.
When D-Day
Somebody was after me.
When D-Day comes around every year, Mr. Perrett, what goes through your mind?
Well, I made another year. Actually, I'm 78 years young, and I have been blessed, as you can see on camera, that I still have my health and my faculties, my mental faculties, to enable me to go to schools, military reservations, social civic organizations all across America and share my message with them before I leave the scene.
Well, we are so happy that you were able to share your message and your reminiscences with us, and it is great to see you, Mr. Perrett. Our best to everybody back down there in New Orleans.
Thank you.
What a charming gentleman.
I was going to say the same.